Hello and welcome back to Cosmic Law, where today we're going to continue speaking about the Netta Neith and how she operates and manifests in the invisible or unseen realms. And this was really inspired by papier-mâché or cartonnage mummy mask that was made during the Roman period, and it was of a young woman's face, and over her lips was the symbol for Neith. It was painted in black outline. The symbolism means that her lips are the bows that are shooting forth the arrows of her words, of her speech. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my media, photos and videos and writings in a little technical mishap recently, so I no longer have access to that image. If any of you know that image or where it is, please send me a link so that I can try to find it again. But what that triggered in me was that your speech, what comes out of your mouth, is woven together by Neith. This is the process of speech. This is how it occurs. Atum, with the divine command be, simply expresses the monosyllable be, and it is. But when we speak, what we're doing is stringing together letters into a structured form. We're weaving them together. So let's take, for example, word, which is W-O-R-D, 4 letters. Now, each of those is pronounced differently because in our alphabet system, we have a symbol for each letter, and we have a corresponding sound that is associated with that symbol. So we know that this is pronounced word, W-O-R-D. But when we string the 4 together, we have this word. It becomes a unit. It becomes fixed. And so Neith, through her weaving, has fixed the sound of these 4 letters. She's woven them into one solid unit, word. Then when we say a sentence like, I am going to say many words today, this becomes a thread. This is your thread that is woven together, and remember the N hieroglyph for Neith. It's woven together into a thread. So when you take your sentences and work them into a poem or a piece of literature, then you are literally creating a tapestry, because that poem is like a solid piece of fabric. It's the shield emblem that's beneath the crossed arrows of Neith in her symbol. In part 1 of this video, I revealed how the principal function of Neith is expansion, and how she does that through weaving, through taking these individual threads and weaving them together into a solid structure, which we call fabric, be that material or immaterial. Because another way to see that is that Neith fixes the properties of a single thread. It becomes fixed into the fabric. It becomes a permanent part that's woven into it and cannot easily be removed. It's what holds the whole thing together. Another way to see this is that she creates a network. She creates a net, and nets are another aspect of Neith. Neith is also involved with the fishing aspect, where you cast a net to catch a fish or birds or whatever you're going to catch in your net. So net, which is another way to pronounce her name, Neith, N and T, net. Net plays a very big part in our life, because we're all networking all the time. All our friendships, all our family relationships, all our business relationships go through a network. It's a connection, it's an interweaving of people that form our personal network. And of course, you take it a slight step further and you have the internet, which is the international net. And through this net, you can be woven together with anyone else on the planet. It's quite amazing. So the internet is another dimension of Neith in the contemporary world. So that's a big area to look into. You can also say that Neith is weaving a web, because the World Wide Web is the name for the internet. And when the Greeks came to Egypt, they took most of their information from the ancient temple teaching. They corrupted it, of course, in what Schwaller calls the big deviation. We won't go there now. But one of the things they did is they made their deities take on the attributes of the Egyptian netters. And in the case of Neith, she largely became the figure of Athena, who is also associated with weaving and with warfare. She also has the spear symbol, so it's the same attributes as Neith. So in the Greek mythology, Athena is also associated with the spider, who weaves a web. And the web again serves two purposes. One is to hold. Remember Neith's name being she who holds, and it's also to trap their prey. So the spider traps its prey in the web. So the World Wide Web holds so much information right now, but we can also get trapped in it. Continuing with our research into Neith in the modern world, we have the internet, we have the World Wide Web. We also have something called fishing, and where that brings us back to the fishing net and the harpoon that Neith can use instead of an arrow. The real deal with Neith is how she weaves the tapestry of our lives. And we can see that using the analogy of weaving that you have the weft threads and the warp threads. Remember that in the first video. Now, the weft threads, the vertical ones, are the ones that are fixed. They're spaced at regular intervals and they are fixed. In a way, you have no control over them right now. You had control when you wrote your contract, but these are the fixed things in your life, like your gender, your race, the place and time you were born, the financial and political climate you were born into. All those things are fixed in your contract, and those are like these weft threads. The warp threads are how you weave in between those things. It's your relationship to them, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. In any way, these are the different colors and textures you bring to your life through these fixed weft threads. And as a result, our tapestry is this magnificent individual creation that is our life. It's the record of our life in one solid unit, thanks to the weaving of Neith. I mentioned too how Neith's principal function is that of expansion, because she takes the very weak individual threads and weaves them into a much stronger, solid situation, which we call the fabric. So she fixes them, she makes them more permanent. And in their symbolism, the ancient sages gave Neith the red crown. She's often depicted with the red crown on her head. And the red crown is associated with Lower Egypt and specifically with Horus. But the red crown is inseparable from the white crown. And so this is where we see alchemy come in, because red and white and black, the black land of Egypt, these are the three colors of alchemy. So in the alchemical triad, the red crown that's worn by Neith symbolizes the red sulfur. It's the activating element. So in today's video, we learned a little bit more about Neith and how she operates in the invisible and unseen realms, weaving her tapestries and unifying everything in this net into a mesh that holds everything, because she is the one who holds all energy. And remember too that when we speak about the netters, we're not speaking about gods and goddesses, we're speaking about cosmic laws. So Neith is the cosmic law of expansion, and that's how she manifests, expanding through weaving her fibers, through weaving our words, our actions, our lives, that at the end of our life we have this complete tapestry. And now we've come to the end of this video, so when you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and if you want to buy me a coffee, go right ahead using the link below. It supports the channel and keeps us going on Return to Cosmic Law. Thank you.